This is the Thompson Cast. I am Mel Thompson. You know, several weeks ago, we had these horrible deaths in South Africa where the miners were allegedly murdered by South African police. Video does not back up the government's contention that the miners were somehow threatening the police and charging the police and attacking the police in a manner that justified the deadly force. Not only do you have that as a problem, which brings to light all the problems that South Africa still has as far as the division between rich and poor and the insertion of police into that conflict. It also raises the issue globally of the mining industry's importance to not only the South African economy, but also to transportation globally because of the platinum in the mines that is taken out and then utilized in automobiles. Catalytic converters use a lot of platinum. The cost of cars have already gone up because of these strikes in these mines due to the violence. And now we find that it doesn't seem that there's going to be any short-term solution to this. So as a foreign direct investor, you have a huge political risk that is going to probably last through the winter because the South African government and the miners and the mine owners cannot come to some deal that can get the mines up and running peacefully again. This is a huge problem because if you look at transportation overall, people are going to have to either get a catalytic converter repaired or get another car. Right there is a cost built in that has risen and will continue to rise if, in fact, the supply of platinum is diminished further because of the mine strikes. So it's more than just the problems that the South African government has on the ground. It's an impact globally. Where you may also see it show up is in the trade and transportation of other goods. Companies rely on trucking. Trucks also have catalytic converters. Companies tend to buy vehicles more often than the average citizen, and the investment in companies by foreign direct investors or businesses that rely on the transport of goods and services by trucking is going to be impacted by this if there's a delay in new vehicles. A delay in new vehicles means that the vehicles may require more maintenance or break down, which would also impact supply chains by goods and services being late in delivery. It may also raise the cost of doing business because there's going to be a more headier bill, if you will, for maintaining trucks that should have been replaced well before now. So as you can see, once again, we are always globally connected. We are not an island unto ourselves. And the horror of these shootings alone give great pause to any foreign direct investor that was looking to do business in South Africa in other areas that are not even connected to the mines. It just appears to many people, including to myself, that the issue of apartheid is still present in South Africa. You cannot get away from the fact that during the apartheid era, many people viewed the police as a tool of the government whose only purpose was to repress them. That has changed. However, the fact that there were protests, there were killings, and there were police involved, and the videos lend some credence to the defense by the protesters that they actually did nothing other than peacefully protest, raises the stakes for the South African government in respect that they may not be able to resolve this problem. People may demand more changes, and they may demand something more robust than a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which is what they had at the end of the apartheid era, which only discussed what happened but didn't assign blame. People are going to want blame assigned, and they're going to want people punished in this case. This is going to create a long-term series of discussions. starts and stops, and starts and stops can only mean one thing: a delay in productivity and the commerce that is flowing globally from the mines. Other companies that rely on foreign direct investment may also see the prospect of the foreign direct investment drying up, which will impact people on the other side of foreign direct investment that didn't realize that their return on investment was dependent upon somebody else investing in a company they probably never heard of before. People are going to be very, very leery to get involved in South Africa because of this. And I think a lot of foreign direct investors are going to view this in the light of the apartheid era and say, I'm not going to get involved in a country where they're still shooting people who were protesting conditions at a job that I, as a foreign direct investor, wouldn't do in a million years. This has been the Thompson Cast. I am Mel Thompson.